Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We are talking Friday, May 16th. Happy Friday, everybody. The Dong Report is back in your life, and I'm playing today's Dong Report a little bit differently. Instead of just giving like 3 to 4 straight bets, I'm kind of doing a little bit differently today. I do have two straight bets that I just put a quarter unit each. I have one team where I couldn't decide on what guy to bet, so I took 3 of them at 0.1 units each. And then there were 4 guys that I really liked the matchup for them to hit home runs. I hated the odds, so I put them in a round robin. So it sounds complicated. I'll explain it. Hopefully, everything will be very easy for you guys to tail. It's going to be a total of just under 1.5 units risk total. So we're not going crazy with our unit sizing. We're just playing it a little bit differently. But before we can get into all that, we do have to do a recap from yesterday, which was a fine, albeit confusing day overall. So the official Dong Report on the YouTube video that I came out with yesterday was Rhys Hines. Thank you for people telling me how to pronounce his name. Dalton Varsho and James Wood. Now, Hines and Varsho ended up not being in the starting lineup. Neither of them pinch hit, so we just got those refunded. We got our money back. It's impossible to lose money when your guys don't play. James Wood did not hit a home run. He really didn't have a great day at the plate either. Those of you that follow me on Twitter and on my Tails account, with these 2 guys getting refunded, I added 2 additional plays. I added Ellie De La Cruz. I added Gunnar Henderson. Thankfully, Ellie did hit a home run, giving us a profit on the Dong Report. We were up just about a half unit, like 0.51 units basically, on the Dong Report yesterday. Not the most amazing day in the world, but when we had lost like 27 straight home run plays, I'm happy to just get one in the green, get one guy, hit one over the fence, and hopefully we're going to start going on a hot streak. So on the entire season, that now brings our profit to about just under 3.5 units of profit. ROI 6.76%. Nothing amazing, nothing terrible either. And then our 2025 profit, if you're just putting blindly 1 unit on every single play, was 14. You'd be up 14.6 units. So again, not amazing. Granted, in the scheme of 27 straight losers, and you're telling me I'm still green after that, that just shows you how hot we were prior to that insanely bad cold streak. So again, I'm playing things a little bit differently today. I just kind of wanted to switch it up. There's a lot of guys that I liked when I was going through my Dong watch list, and I was trying to figure out the best way to play them. This is what I came up with. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter's Jedi Modi. What you think, if this was too overwhelming, too confusing, and you'd rather me just go back to straights or just go to a round robin, something like that. Let me know in the comments what you think. But I was trying to figure out, and I felt that this was the best way to play it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the 2 straight plays that I have. I'm playing both of these for a quarter unit each. Just lock them in individually. No confusion, no issues. And the first one is CJ Abrams. So he is best offered at plus 525 odds at Bet365. When I sent him out, he was plus 525 at ESPN Bet. They have now moved their odds, but you can still get 525 at Bet365. So no issues there. Lock that bad boy in at Bet365. So the thing with CJ Abrams, there's 2 big negatives that everybody's going to point to with this play. Neither of those 2 things scare me off, which is obviously why I am playing it. Number 1, CJ Abrams is a left-handed hitter going up against a left-handed pitcher. But if you look at Abrams, and I'm going to go into both of them individually, but if you look into Abrams, his splits against lefties are not that bad, like actually pretty good. He's hit 2 home runs against lefties in 46 plate appearances. That's not bad. He's hitting 326 against lefties. That's not bad. You go to his advanced stats. ISO rate is actually higher. OPS is actually higher. Slugging is actually higher. WOBA is actually higher. WRC plus. Now, when I say higher, it's very, very, very close. They're basically equal. But that's another way of saying there's no difference between him against a righty and a lefty. So that lefty versus lefty matchup, that does not scare me off at all. He actually hit a home run yesterday against a left-handed pitcher. It was a bullpen arm for the Braves. And then the pitcher he's going up against, Cade Povich. He hasn't allowed a home run to a left-handed hitter this year. Nobody's going to like that. It's not as though he's unhittable against lefties. I think it's a little bit lucky that he hasn't given up a home run to a lefty and that some regression is going to hit him specifically on the lefty versus lefty matchup. So we're looking at game day insights here. And I promise I'm going to get into the weather report and all that stuff, but I just kind of wanted to dive into the home runs. So his barrel rate allowed against lefties is 6.67%. That's not terrible That's also not unhittable. You go to his advanced stats against lefties. Now his hitting stats, his FIP 2.50 is good, but his xFIP 4.93 shows that he's getting a little bit lucky. His batted balls is the biggest thing that I wanted to show you. Fly ball rate against lefties, almost 60%. Hard hit rate against lefties is actually higher than his hard hit rate against righties. Granted, it's not a dramatic difference, but 33% against lefties, 26% against righties. That's better against lefties. Now the pull rate is lower, so he's more guys are hitting it to center field, which is why home runs are harder to come by when you hit them to center field. That's part of it. But the difference in fly ball rate and ground ball rate is insane. And even if you go off of game day insights, hard hit rate of 50%, they track things a little bit differently. Fly ball rate of 45%. All those numbers are still nothing that's going to scare you off. You look at him against righties. So yeah, that barrel rate is higher, but the hard hit rate is lower. The fly ball rate is lower. The line drive rate is a little bit higher. All this to say, I'm not scared off of this lefty versus lefty matchup at all. This is very highly rated according to Ballpark Pal. They have him best offered, they have his true odds priced at plus 400. We're getting it at plus 525 at Bet365. This is one of the highest EV plays according to Ballpark Pal. So I do think that there are a lot of advantages in favor of CJ Abrams. You go to the weather, which is when we're going to get into our weather report. Plus 16, winds blowing out to right field at Oriole Park. That is going to be good for carry for left-handed hitters like CJ Abrams. And then the last thing I'll mention is another thing that scares people off is he hit a home run yesterday. That's another thing that doesn't really scare me off. He's been hot at the plate. He's hit 2 home runs in his last 3 games. And you go to a stretch back when he was hot at the plate, we see it right here. He hit 3 home runs in 4 games, and he hit one in back-to-back, and then he hit one a couple games later. So he's one of these guys that can go on these home run binges and then go on a terrible cold streak. Well, guess what? Looks like he's back in a home run binge. You look at his advanced stats. Since May the 4th, probably a big Star Wars guy. His numbers have been really good. Nothing that would really scare you off. 4 barrels in that stretch isn't amazing. 11% barrel rate is fine. 18 hard hits is pretty good. And then, again, the barrels have come more recently. And then we see games like 3 hard hits, 2, 3, 2. He had 2 last night, and those were hit pretty hard. We're looking at, this is a Baseball Savant, which is where I look into exit velocity and stuff. He had a single, 104 miles an hour off the bat, and they had a home run, 100 miles an hour off the bat. He pulled it, home run in 28 of 30 stadiums. So all that's to say, I really, really like CJ Abrams in this one. Wood is also plus EV, pretty highly rated, according to Ballpark Pal as well. Wood isn't quite as good in terms of CJ Abrams and all that stuff, which is why I ended up settling with CJ Abrams. Couple sources I looked at, Ballpark Pal and another one, were higher on CJ Abrams, which is why I ended up going with him. And we went with Wood yesterday, and he really didn't do anything at the plate. He had 0 hard hits. Not that that means he can't have a good night tonight. I just liked Abrams a little bit better, but if you wanted to lock in Wood, spray the board, I wouldn't blame you at all. That is play number 1, and then remember, quarter unit on that bad boy, 0.25 units, and everything I send out goes to what you're looking at here, which is just my Tails account. So if you ever want to lock stuff in early, you don't want to wait for the YouTube videos, Tails is the way to go. That's play number 1. Play number 2, another play that we are playing straight up for a quarter unit, Nolan Jones. I'm taking him to hit a home run. He is offered at a very juicy offered price of plus 700 odds at FanDuel. And you can get that 700 at a couple books, FanDuel and Fanatics, and a couple of these random ones, but those are the main 2. Another quarter unit play here on Nolan Jones. Now this one also does have some negative that people aren't going to like. Number 1, it's possible this game gets rained out, but it's amazing from a home run perspective if this game gets played. And the rain, I looked it up, is supposed to start at it's supposed to get really bad between 8 and 9. So hopefully this game starting at 6:40, they can get in the game before it really starts getting bad. And if it's played, incredibly juicy game for home runs. Perfect from a weather perspective, perfect from a stadium perspective. It has everything you're looking for a home run. So let's hope this bad boy is played. Now, Nolan Jones, he's had a gross year. There's no way around it. He is batting, what's he batting? 167. That's not good. A lot of his expected stats show that he's getting a little bit unlucky. Barrel rate of 12.5%, that is not a bad number. That is within the great range. Barrel rate, according to Fangraphs, anything between 10 and 15% is great. Anything 15% and above is excellent. So him barreling the ball up at 12.5%, that's not terrible. Now his hard hits, 33 is low. Hard hit rate of 51.6% isn't terrible. This just means he's striking out a decent amount. Almost a 30% K rate is why his batted ball numbers don't look as bad, because when he makes contact, he hits it hard, but he strikes out a lot. I'm okay with that. And the reason why I am liking him tonight is because of the game he had yesterday. He had 3 hard hits yesterday, and he had 1 barrel. And you look into the exit velocity of those games. So when I say yesterday, I actually meant his last game. He didn't play yesterday. But the last game that the Guardians played, if I can find that game, I think I might have scrolled past it. If I can find that game, the Guardians played the Brewers. Here it is. Look at his exit velocity logs. He had 3 of the 5 hardest hits in that game. A line out, that was 105.9 miles per hour off the bat. He gets this launch angle up by like 2 degrees. This is probably a home run. He had a ground out, 105.9 miles per hour off the bat. He just apparently loves that 105.9. In the end, it had another single. Now, these fly ball rates are low, right? Only 1 hit in the air, and it was at a 19-degree launch angle. But that's hitting the ball very, very hard. And then the biggest thing for Nolan Jones, the reason why I like him, it's a huge advantage in favor of him over the pitcher Brady Singer. And the reason for that is Brady Singer basically only throws a sinker and a slider. Neither of them are that great pitches. That sinker doesn't sink, so we call it a stinker. That slider doesn't slide, so I don't have a name for it. But either way, these pitches are not good. Rated C according to Ballpark Pal. You want to look at FanGraphs Stuff Plus. Both of them are below average. That sinker is slightly below average, and that slider is even more below average. And you look at the hitter on the Guardians with the best numbers against right-handed pitching against the sinker and we need the slider. So let me go to Brady Singer for a second. Brady Singer also struggles a lot versus lefties. You look at his number against lefties, 10% barrel rate. All these numbers are red across the board. The fly ball rate is a little bit low, but he allows lefties to hit the ball in the air a little bit more. But you go to the Guardians, we're looking at the last month. Who has the best numbers basically across the board against the sinker and the slider? That would be our friend Nolan Jones. He's got 1 home run off of that pitch over these 2 pitches over the last month. 14% barrel rate, 60% fly ball rate, or hard hit rate, 40% fly ball rate. Now, yeah, he Ks a decent amount, still about a 30% strikeout rate. Brady Singer doesn't strike anybody out. I mean, that K rate, 23% is relatively below average. And we saw Nolan Jones hit the crap out of the baseball yesterday. So I think for plus 700, when you can take into account how awesome this weather is from a home run perspective, I think plus 700 is really, really good for Nolan Jones. Again, it's been a gross year for him. You look at Nolan Jones, he was awesome his rookie year. 245 ISO rate when he played for the Rockies was terrible last year. Has not had a great start this year. Maybe he's coming out of that funk. And for plus 700, I absolutely think it's worth a sprinkle. So our play number 2, which we're putting on for a quarter unit, is Nolan Jones at plus 700 odds at FanDuel. So those are our 2 straight plays at with a quarter unit each. Now the next thing that I'm doing, and I'm going to talk about all these guys at the same time. There are 3 guys on the Reds. So obviously this game, if it gets rained out, we just got all this stuff refunded, so really no issues there. If these games are played, incredibly juicy for a home run perspective. I know I say juicy a lot, it just is what it is. But there are 3 guys on the Reds that I really, really liked for a home run. I really, really struggled. Which between the 3 of them do I play? Instead of making that decision, I just decided to play all of them for a lower unit size. So here's what I did. I put 0.1 units on Matt McLain, on Ellie De La Cruz, and on Will Benson. So 0.1 units each. We're risking 0.3 on the 3 of them combined. So if you think about it from how I normally unit size, it's about the same. It's about, just above a quarter unit on all 3 of them. If one of these guys hits a home run, we will be profitable from this interaction. I think we can get multiple. All 3 of these guys hit home runs yesterday, so they can do it in the same game. And I'm not really scared off of either of them thinking they can't go yard back to back. And I'll just start in order. So the pitching matchup they're going up against, I already talked about the weather. So we already know that it's an amazing weather game. And Tanner Bybee, and shout out Toast for telling me how to pronounce his name, is pitching for the Guardians. Now he is worse against lefties, so it's a little bit better for Ellie and Will Benson from that regard. It's not as though he's good against righties either. He's not somebody that I think is unhittable against right-handed pitching. 1.57, that's bad, not terrible. 6.82% barrel rate is average, slightly below average. That hard hit rate is pretty high. Now these line drive plus fly ball rate is relatively low, but you look at Matt McLain, he had a long stretch where he really couldn't do anything at the plate. He was really good at the beginning of the year, which we're going to talk about, and then he kind of struggled for a long time. He hurt his hammy. But you look at the exit velocity, guess who was the top two? That would be Matt McLain. The home run he hit, 406 feet. And you look at the hit distance, he had 2 of the 6 farthest hits in the game yesterday. That's why Matt McLain was always a great play for a home run, because he really does put the ball in the air a lot. So he had the home run yesterday, 106 miles an hour off the bat. Then he had a fly out. If he just got a hold of this one a little bit more, I mean, it traveled 369 feet with only 95 miles per hour exit velocity. Like, this goes up to 97, it's probably a home run. And then he had another hard hit that was a double, 106.5 miles per hour off the bat. So it's kind of similar to Nolan Jones, where not having a great year overall, had a really good day at the plate his last time out, and he's got a decent pitching matchup. Like, I meant to pull this up, but I'm going to show you Matt McLain. Because if you remember him from the beginning of the year, back when I can actually get home run plays to hit, he had a home run in 3 straight games. Then he gets hurt. He hits a home run again back on the 18th, but then he gets hurt and he misses about a month. He missed about 2 weeks. Sorry, I was thinking about somebody else. He missed about a little less than 2 weeks here, 11 days. Really struggled coming back. I mean, we see a lot of games, a lot of hitless streaks, a lot of games with only 1 hit. You look at his advanced stats, a lot of games with, especially back here, 1, 0, 1. And then he had 2, 3, but then recently it's not been terrible. 2 hard hits, 3, then a couple games without any. And then yesterday, the 3 hard hits, the 1 barrel, the 2 balls hit in the air that had a chance to be a home run. So I think Matt McLain is solid. And then the other 2, Elly De La Cruz and Will Benson. Look at Tanner Bybee against lefties, and you really see a pitcher that struggles. Home run per 9, 2.14. Terrible. ISO rate allowed to lefties, 2.269. Terrible. Barrel rate above 10% is disgusting. That hard hit rate is low, but the line drive and fly ball rate is higher. And you see the 2 pitches for him that have given up the most home runs are the 4-seam fastball and the changeup. Now, Will Benson just basically started playing baseball recently. He had a game on the 9th, and then he's played every day for the last 5 games. Struggled his first 3 games, and then look at his last 2. 3 hard hits and 2 hard hits. He had a barrel in each of these games as well. Now, from an odds perspective, the best EV play is Will Benson at plus 630, both according to Ballpark Pal and from a line shopping perspective as well. You look at him, plus 630 on FanDuel. No other book even has him in the 500 range. So from a positive, strictly positive expected value perspective, from a line shopping, positive EV, good play. From a Ballpark Pal positive EV perspective, good play. So if you want something that hits both of those metrics, that would be Will Benson at plus 630. I mentioned that he's a lefty and that Bybee struggles more against lefties, and it's been a small sample size. But you look at what it was, the 4-seam fastball and the changeup. Will Benson, in a small sample size, has the best numbers by far on the Reds of those pitches. Yesterday, the home run he hit was against a 4-seam fastball, 105 miles an hour off the bat. He also had a 4-seam fastball hit 359 feet yesterday. Or that was 2 games ago, excuse me. And then another one hit 377 feet. So 2 long flyouts 2 games ago. And then hit the home run yesterday. Elly De La Cruz, sorry, as my mic gets messed up. Elly De La Cruz, the scary part for him is he does hit the ball hard a lot, but that fly ball rate is always low. I mean, 15% is pretty gross. But he hit a home run yesterday, Elly did, and he's been pretty good at the plate. Now, from an EV perspective, from Ballpark Pal, he's the lowest rated one. They have Matt McLain. Oh, actually, you can get 500 on Matt McLain now, so you can get an even better price. But you kind of see why I struggle between the 3 of these guys. They all 3 have their good arguments between Benson, Benson, McLain, and Elly De La Cruz. So that's why I put 0.1 units on all 3 of them. And that's why I talked about the 3 of them together. So this was plays 2 through 4, or if you just want to combine it into one, play 3, depending on how you look at it. So as of right now, we have 0.8 units risked on the Dong report. And then the last thing that I did, I am calling it a stinky odds Dong Robin. Basically, there are 4 guys where if you forget that odds exist, which you obviously can't do, but when you do that, you just look at the matchups. All 4 of them have phenomenal matchups from a lot of perspectives. The 4 guys are Ohtani, Carpenter, Carey, who he'll come through for us, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, who might be the best hitter in the MLB, and then Bryce Harper. All of these guys I'd offer it at plus 320 odds or worse. Truly disgusting stuff. So why not put them in a round robin? You go to the odds screen on Ballpark Pal. Ohtani. I mean, it's not plus EV according to them, but they're high on him at plus 226. PCA, high on him at plus 326. Carey, super high on him at plus 282. The only one that's positive EV from that perspective, plus 290 on FanDuel, plus 282 according to Ballpark Pal. And then Bryce is plus 300 on FanDuel, plus 393 according to Ballpark Pal. But I really like all three of those guys. I just hated the odds. So why not, instead of just avoiding them entirely, why not put them in a round robin? So the way that I played it was on the 4 legs in a round robin. If you don't know what it is, look it up on YouTube. It basically is a way to combine every single guy, the combination of all the guys that you want. So the way the odds shake out, we only need 2 of these guys to hit a home run, and we're making money. If more than 2 do, then we're making a lot of money, which is the whole reason why we're doing this. But the way that I did it was I risked 0.1 units on each leg of the round robin individually. That's a total of 6 plays, risking a total of 0.6 units. And when you put it in on FanDuel, you put in all 4, you go to round robin, and then when you go buy 2, you do 0.1 units. And then I parlayed the 4 of them for 0.5 units. So we're risking total on everything 0.65 units. Now I'll quickly go through why these guys are good plays. Ohtani, he's really good. If you don't know Shohei Ohtani, really good baseball player. This pitcher, disgusting against left-handed hitters. Just truly horrific. I'll show you really quick. I know this is going to be a longer one, but I'll show you really quick what he does against lefties. He just gets pummeled. If this thing, of course, now at the side. Yeah, I mean, you see red across the board. 2.31 home run per 9. Just below 9% barrel rate. 50% hard hit rate. Really, 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 really bad. Ohtani, left-handed hitter, who's really good. Check. The next one, Kerry Carpenter. He's been hitting the crap out of the baseball. You go to his EV logs recently, just consistently smacking the baseball. Hasn't gotten one to go yard, which makes me think that he's ready for some positive regression. And the pitcher he's going up against, Bowden Francis, stinky pitcher. You look at him against Bowden Francis stinks against everybody. If you look at what's happened to him against lefties, 9 home runs and 95 at-bats, almost a home run per 10 at-bats, is truly horrific stuff. Home run per 9, ISO rate, barrel rate, hard hit rate, all that stuff is basically like I was out there pitching. And Carey's been hitting the ball really well. Let's hope he can continue it. Then the last 2, PCA. So this one is amazing from a weather perspective. It's incredibly windy. Winds blowing out at Wrigley Field. Wind is extremely, it influences the trajectory of the ball a lot at Wrigley Field. So we're talking 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out of the stadium. That is going to help for a guy like PCA who consistently puts the ball in the air. We're looking at Pete Crow Armstrong. Of course, this is going to take forever to load, so I'll try to find it a different way. But we're looking at Cubs hitters, and we're looking at them CHC against righties. Look at his fly ball rate over the last month. 50% is really good. And then over the last 2 weeks, that fly ball rate is also 50%, which is really good. But you look at another source, of course, this thing just simply won't load for me. But his fly ball rate over the last 2 weeks, according to Fangraphs, is like 70%. It's insane, his fly ball rate recently. So I'm going to show you the game log, and then just going to look at the last 2 weeks. So basically the month of May gives us a nice 2-week sample size. 2/3 of the time, he's putting the ball in the air. He's pulling it almost 45% of the time. So in a game like this, you just need a guy to put the ball in the air, and that ball's leaving the stadium. And the last one is Bryce Harper. Kind of similar logic here. Very, very good from a home run perspective. 24% above expectation, above the average game for a home run to be hit. And Bryce has been hitting the ball very, very hard. Has been kind of snake bitten with the home run. He smacked the baseball like 105 miles per hour off the bat. I think it was his last game or 2 games ago. I don't know how it didn't leave the stadium, but it was caught at like the warning track. And this was a kind of gross weather game. The wind smacked that ball down, but he's been pretty hot at the plate. And he's actually been really good against lefties, and that's who he's facing. So, he's hit more home runs in fewer at-bats against lefties. His numbers across the board are really, really good against lefties. The guy he's going up against, Andrew Heaney, is kind of similar to Cade Povich, where you look at him against lefties and you're like, he's not that good. Like, he's home run every 23 at-bats isn't somebody that you should target. But again, it's the advanced stuff that I'm not scared off of. That barrel rate is low. Hard hit rate's high. Line drive rate is kind of high. Home run per nine of 1.62 isn't anything really to be scared off of. And again, it's really good from a weather perspective, which is why I decided to play it the way I did. So if we just get 2 of these guys in the round robin, the Dong Robin, to go yard, we're making money. And that's all we got. That's every single person that I even have on my Dong watch list. So it's 9 guys total. It's these 2 played straight up. It's these 3 played with 0.1 units each. And then it's these guys, I'm calling it the Stinky Odds Dong Robin. So you look at everything that I have for today, we are risking 1.45 units. And if we just ignore the Dong Robin for now, because that's a little bit harder to track, like what our potential profit is, we just look at these 5 guys. If all 5 of them hit a home run, we're profiting 4.66 units. And the beauty is, if we get 1 of Nolan Jones or CJ Abrams to hit a home run, we are also making money. And I think if we get 2 of these, if we get 2 of the guys that are the $10 ones, if we get 2 of them, I think we're also making money, depending. It might depend on 2. But regardless, very, very, very confident in today's Dong report. We finally got one to hit yesterday. Thank you to Ellie De La Cruz. Let's hope that he can do it again. I know this was a lot. So again, give me feedback, Twitter, whatever, in the comments on YouTube. However, if you think this was too much, I'm definitely not going to do this every single day, but I figured why not experiment. Appreciate everybody for watching. I'll shut up now. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.